things. Someone said, "Oh, I had a great week." I'm like, "Oh, shit. I better make pizza."
Okay, it is 4:00 PM on Wednesday, November 19th, 2025. I'll call this special town board meeting of the town of LaPointe to order. Take a roll call. Mike Anderson.
Here.
Amy Baxter. Sue Brenna.
Here.
Samantha Dobson.
Here.
Juan Carlson here. We also have our town administrator and our town clerk with us. Is there any public comment? Okay, there's no public. Next item, finalize and improve posting of the revised 2026 budget. I'll just say that there have been a number of things that have changed since what we adopted. And some of it has to do with the news about the Big Bay Town Park. But I will let Max go through specifically what's changed.
The first thing that triggered it, we discovered after the board approved the budget, that on the rat tax, we had the revenues, but we did not have the expense. We had $150,000 not on the expense side. Why that was is because the revenues we did as a block, we just took all the revenues, not associated with departments. Expenses we did by department. But last year the budget had that rat tax expenditure was not in the department, it wasn't in zoning, it wasn't in general government. It was just kind of a lonely little thing at the end of the page, and we missed it. I missed it. So we let Glenn know right away. I think it was Friday.
Mhm.
And then we had to scramble and try to figure out how we're going to deal with that. And then the other thing was this, which I notified yesterday about the direct appropriation for the Big Bay Town Park. So kind of changed the picture. And if you recall in the narrative of the original budget, I said, I haven't dealt with this. We know it's probably coming, but we don't know enough to put it in the budget. So now we know it's coming. So now we have to kind of at least start dealing with it. I don't know. So we put in to address that, we put in $45,000 for an engineering study. That's probably not, it is probably an engineering study. The full design will cost more than that, but the 45 is kind of a getting started thing. A couple of things that comment on because of this added 150,000, you approved 35,000 going to the clinic, took that down to 30. Okay. We increased, we were conservative on rat tax income revenue. We had that at 215, we took that to 220. So on the expenditure side, we took that to 157, 70%. What else? That payroll, accounting clerk, HR person we had in our budget completely out. We just payroll is just getting to get done the way we're doing it. We're not increasing, or we took that that helped out. It was an expensive number. But we do have 40% of libraries full-time person is in general government. It's all out there.
Yeah, so we're keeping that.
So, wait a minute now. So the personnel that was gonna do, I'm lost, I'm confused.
So we talked about adding a someone to help Lizzie,
Right,
and maybe they would payroll.
right,
But we weren't gonna need them if, depending on what happens with the Harbor Commission and then taking over the payables function. And so because that is uncertain as far as the Harbor Commission is going to do that or is not going to do that, Max and I and Lizzie talked about the idea of just eliminating that position. It was going to be just a half a year, but then like starting June 30th. But then after talking about it some more and then, needing to come up with some more money, we said, well, let's just get rid of it entirely. And if we do need to hire someone because of the Harbor Commission, we will turn to them.
We need a harbor commission.
Yeah, the Harbor Commission to finance that. And they should be able to finance it through the savings of the reduction of duplication of efforts on the bill paying. Right now, it's almost triplicate that we're doing. So that's what happened with that position.
Max just didn't Max just say that payroll is gonna remain the same?
Yeah,
Well, the dollar amount for payroll and
we,
The person,
the person may or may not, we may decide to outsource it. But the
But not
amount
a
would be
full-time position
The
with,
amount's gonna remain the same.
with insurance, with benefits, yeah.
correct.
I should say one more big thing, and that is taxes. So we still couldn't cover that 157 by cutting. So the property tax, the town tax it's still under the allowable levy, but it has gone up from, I think what the board had wanted to be able to say is the property tax hadn't changed.
Yeah,
We'll have to change slightly.
100,000.
To make it work.
And that really is a couple of things. I mean, we had gotten it down with the 157. We had gotten it down actually to where we wouldn't have had to increase the levy. But we got it down partly by cutting the tanker down to 40,000 from 100,000 and saying, well, if we get to that point, we can borrow.
Mhm.
Okay. But now that we've got this 1.5 million that is going to be coming in, that we're going to need to we're going to need to front money. We may need to borrow money. But my thinking was, let's then not plan to borrow money for the tanker. Okay, let's
Put it in the budget.
put it in the budget, levy tax for it. It's still going to be, as Max said, less than the allowable limit by the state. And it's still going to be, based on the numbers that I looked at today, the mill rate will go down. Okay, so the tax per thousand of assessed valuation will go down. And so whether anyone sees an increase or decrease will really have to do with their individual assessed value, but the overall mill rate, we may be, because of new construction.
Well, do we know the amount of new, like on the tax roll? Do we know the amount of like new construction? 20 or 30, 40?
I think it was like 14 million. Did you notice that the equalized assessed value went up by 14 or 15 million? Alex?
you're
Something like that.
yeah, got.
From 24 to 25.
And some of that's going to be sales. Some of that's going to be new construction. But, generally, I mean, if we can keep the levy to being below the allowable limit by the state without getting special permission from the electors, and B, the mill rate goes down. And I think C is we just have this new opportunity that we're going to have to come up with some money for at some point.
That wouldn't be till fall though, right? They're gonna leave it as is until after the season.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think.
Be until next year maybe that we don't have to spend the money.
Well, I would guess though that we may have to spend money this year on refining the engineering study.
Yeah, it's been 2-3
2.5
years.
years
Right,
now.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And there's a lot of steel in there. And
Right,
other things. And, we never really spent, we spent a fair amount of time when we had the study done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point, it was like a dream. Right? So
Yeah.
we're not going to spend
Yeah.
a ton of time on it. Now we do need to spend a lot of time on it. We probably, based on what I've seen on Facebook, we might need to set up a committee of, interested people and board, whatever, kind of like the comprehensive plan steering
Yeah.
committee kind of thing. But I think we will have to spend probably at least that 45,000 this
Right.
time of year on it.
But that's in the budget, you put it in the
We
budget.
put it in the budget now,
So no borrowing maybe.
correct. And we also put in the budget, exactly. So we also put in the budget, restoring the tanker to 100,000.
Hmm.
Okay, to what we had it at,
Okay.
okay?
So there's potential for that to.
It could go down. I mean, you were here when Jay,
Yeah.
you know, so, but now at least if they do go ahead with the tanker this year, you know, we're not immediately faced with this need to finance the 60,000 that we took from it to make up the other. So,
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. So that's where we are. Is there any discussion?
Just to clarify in my mind, so
Mhm.
this position that we had talked about sharing with the library, does that mean that that position isn't? I'm a little
That
confused.
position has not changed. We
It's
haven't
still
done,
full-time and the town gets to use them 60% of the time.
Okay, all right.
But
Or-
probably won't work for 40. Probably won't work in this office,
yeah,
but
I won't be doing
but maybe
payroll.
if
Yeah,
they have that skill.
Yeah,
Oh,
Maybe.
okay, all right. Thank you for the
And that would-
clarification.
be potentially even more savings. I
Right,
mean, if they were able to do
right.
the payroll, right now, we're thinking, you know,
That's a lot of skills.
yeah, more
One
like.
person.
That is a lot of skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So more likely, you know, they can help with the startup for the park season and the shutdown, you know, which is after and before the,
Right,
And the position will remain kind of vague to a point
For the
to
town
allow
part.
flexibility.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so nothing on that has changed.
Oh,
That
thank
still
you.
is going forward. You know, Lauren's board, still, library board still has to approve it, and they still have to find someone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anyhow, any other discussion? Is there a motion
I'll
to
make a
adopt?
motion that we approve the posting of the revised 2026 budget.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And now Alex has 47 minutes to post it.
Think I can-
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, meeting's adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Yep.